Hi, welcome back to Living Out Loud. It's Susan Karp, Executive Director of the Arlington Council on Aging. And I have my friend King here. I forgot how much fun a baby puppy could be. But I know we have to get back to business, so we'll see you in a moment. So that was a really nice surprise. So King had to go back downstairs, and we're still, getting a little bit of King off of us right now. Yes. I'd like to welcome today, we've got Hannah Plasker. So Hannah has been with us for this entire semester. She's getting her master's in health management.
Yes.
I finally got that right. It's only taken a semester. So Hannah, before we get into what you want to talk about, I'd like your thoughts about, if you can remember back when you started, what you thought the Council on Aging was about versus what you're thinking about it now.
Yeah.
Realizing I haven't written your recommendation yet for your instructor, so no, kidding aside.
Yeah, so when I first came in, my perception of the Council on Aging was more like a resource for the community. Not so much a senior center, but more of like somewhere people would go for help if they needed help, if they needed assistance. It wasn't more, I didn't have visions of it being like such a community-based place.
Oh.
So it was a nice surprise when I came in, seeing all that you guys had to offer and what a great base you guys have there for all the seniors in the community and how welcoming everything is.
Yeah, and the number of programs.
Yes, the number of programs is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It really is.
And actually, this is what you made for Civics Day. So Civics Day was back on, what, March 18th?
It was the 18th, yeah.
And even though we have a lot of flyers, we have a lot of individual flyers. So you got some experience in really understanding all that we do.
Yeah, I got to learn about everything that you guys have to offer, and it's a lot. It's a lot. It really is.
It's amazing, isn't it? Well, good. And my other question for you: how many committees are there in Arlington? That was the other thing. So
you guys love your committees.
I know we do here in Arlington, and Hannah actually went through the town website and created a spreadsheet for us, and for all the committees and the days and the times, because we're working on a project that we haven't quite launched yet. It's a part of the AARP Age-Friendly Community Initiative. Yeah. So, we've been mentioning that in our audience for some time. Hannah has done a lot of background work on that. So we say thank you, but we always do find that people that come into our office for a semester or for a year, what you think we are and what we really are can be two totally different things.
Definitely.
So we certainly have enjoyed having you here.
I've loved it.
And what I'd like you to do, without necessarily naming the company, is give us a little of your professional background, because you're not just a student. You have other things, and then how we turned that into what we wanted you to focus on here.
Yeah.
All right.
So I did my undergrad in accounting. So I went to school for accounting, and when I got out of school, I was looking for a job, and I happened to, obviously, I happened to stumble across a job within the long-term care insurance industry. And I just kind of was applying for everything, entry level, and I got it. And it was eye-opening. It was, and now it's turned into a passion, definitely. So my company does risk management for long-term care insurance carriers. So we do the insurance assessments along with helping all of the policyholders locate care services when they're in need.
Okay, so you're not actually selling the long-term care.
We're not selling, and we're not part of the claims.
All right.
We don't do any of the claims.
Okay, but you get to review the kinds of services and things.
Yeah, so we get to be a resource for people when they're going on claim. A lot of people are uneducated because they've never gone through anything like that in the past.
Right.
So we get to be the kind of people that help educate them.
That's great.
Help lead them in the right way. So yeah, it is. It's very rewarding.
So you get to see our population kind of like after the fact.
Yes.
So with long-term care, sometimes it is as a result of acute occurrences, so like, a heart attack or stroke.
Yeah.
And then other times it's needing the long-term care is the result of a chronic illness that has basically, what I'm just going to say, tortured you you know, with truly, you know, no reasonable end in sight. So that's, you know, that's what Hannah does professionally. Getting your master's in health management will add, you know, additional perspective. So coming into this community, let's talk about the kinds of things that we wanted you to be looking at, you know, and why. So
what I was looking at coming in was the ways that the Arlington Council on Aging and other resources can help to delay the need for long-term care.
Okay.
So you guys do a great job at helping people do that. Some things that you offer and the meals that you offer are huge to keep people well-nourished. You offer a lot of volunteer opportunities for seniors, a place for them to come together and stay active both physically and mentally, which is a huge part of staying healthy.
Well, good. Good. So what other kinds of things?
So I think the exercise classes that you guys offer are huge. Staying active, even if it's just a small amount of time, keeping active, keeping moving can help keep the muscles young, keep the heart young. It can definitely make a big difference when it comes to aging. So that's great. And you guys offer a lot of exercises that kind of range from
like the chair yoga that we have on Thursday afternoons, which anybody can participate in regardless. I mean, it's just the type of program that is. As well as in the advanced, then there's the yoga that's a little bit more advanced. There's the muscle strengthening that we partner with Bay State Physical Therapy, and that's on Wednesdays. So you're right. And then we do the mindfulness and meditation a couple of times a year, which is also another thing. So no, you're right. There are a lot of exercise.
Something small or something big, even if it's just walking. I know you guys are starting the Walk the Rink. So.
That's right. Walk the Rink starts on May 9th and will run for, I'm going to say 12 sessions. So that will be on a Tuesday and a Thursday from 9 until 11. It'll be at the Ed Burns hockey rink. So they pull out the ice. So the first couple of times that we're at the rink, you know, you've got your jacket on because the temperature hasn't, you know, gotten too warm. And this year with Walk the Rink, we have 6 new sponsors. It's a program that requires sponsorship, and our previous sponsor was not able to assist us this time. So we've been able to have Watertown Savings Bank, Leahy Clinic and Hospital to help us out, Mount Auburn, Noreen Murphy, who is an elder law attorney, so she's helping us out. Salter Healthcare is helping us out. And I'm in trouble because number 6, I'm blanking on it for a moment. So I am here without my notes. So my apologies. So we'll figure that out. And Bay State, not Bay State, excuse me, Brightview of Arlington. So those are our 6 sponsors that help put this program together, which is entirely free. So getting back to letting you finish.
So getting people out and walking, and also the social interaction that people get from those kinds of programs. Keeping people engaged within the community, keeping their mind active, and building relationships. That's really, really key when you're aging, to keep those things going.
That's true, and it's a sense of purpose, and they've done a lot of studies. And if I'm getting ahead of myself, you can just like kick me underneath the table. But having a sense of purpose, getting up every day, knowing that you're going to be seeing someone or doing something, and that how your interactions, even though you think that you're not bringing anything to the table, the fact that you get there with your eyes open. Doesn't have to say how wide they're open. You should see me at 4:30 in the morning. I'm like, oh, is it that time already? But it's the getting up and going and feeling like you've got someplace to be, and that sense of purpose, that interaction, all of those things play a role. And don't scoff at this. It plays a role in living a healthy retirement. And anytime you're living a healthy retirement or a healthy life, you're by essence, you're delaying the need for long-term care. So very good points, Hannah.
Yeah, definitely. So let's talk a little bit about eating healthy. The meals that you guys have to offer at the senior center are great. Drinking water, staying hydrated, and then also that brings the social event to the table as well. You're sitting around with people at a meal together, making it a social event.
Right.
So that the meals that you guys have to offer, they're nutritional.
That's right, because they represent 1/3 of the total nutrition that a senior needs. So I'm not sure if everyone knows that, but whether it's the congregate site at the Drake Village area or whether it's at our senior center. So those meals are prepared. They may not be prepared the same way you do, but you know, the benefit when you're sitting across the table, you know, with someone talking, it's, you know, do you have this or do you have that? It's the idea of coming together. And it is a nutritious meal.
Yes, definitely. And with that, keep seeing your doctor regularly. Staying up to date with all of your checkups and things like that, just to make sure you're on top of everything. So make sure you see the doctor regularly.
Right, as well as if you are finding that your body is changing, if there's a shift in what's happening day to day, even though you, and this is, Hannah, we say this all the time when it comes to the doctor's appointments or, you know, even calling the doctor, you don't have to wait for your next scheduled visit. No. If you sense a change of what's going on, then you need to reach out to your doctor, whether the nurse on call is able to answer a question or whether they have you come in. And I'm going to stop for a minute because in the month of May, it's Stroke Awareness Month. So we had received a grant from Mount Auburn.
Great.
So in that process, we were trying to educate. So, you know, the FAST, if the face, if there's a droop, you know,
if you're feeling weird at all, I mean, you know your body best, and you know how you feel regularly, and
That's
if
right.
anything starts to change.
Like the face, the arms, like if you can't hold your arm, you know, one drops. Your speech, if someone's looking at you like you have two heads, like what in the world did you say? That would be another one. And then, you know, T for fast is time, because time is brain. So again, you know, that's an extreme.
It is.
Call 911 if that happens. Do not wait, because if you wait, you have the risk of having the stroke take over versus having some of the drugs that can help, you know, minimize the effects. But you're right. Anytime you have a change, you know, perhaps. Well, I don't want to go into all the signs and symptoms of everything, but
that will be the next one.
Yeah, that would. So anyway, but point well taken.
Yeah. So seeing your doctor, staying active. And along with that, if you're starting any new activities or any new exercise classes, check with your doctor first. Make sure that it's something that your body can handle, especially if you haven't been very active as you've been getting older.
Right.
So definitely check with your doctor. If anything, just go for a walk. That's the best
for
exercise,
a walk,
right?
And I've already done
walk
2.5
morning.
I do. Everyone that knows me, I walk about 4 miles a day. I've been. Last week, I think I walked 47 miles. So
wow.
No, I just
that is impressive.
I really like to walk. But walking, it's free.
It is.
Oh, for Pete's sakes, it's free. It's low impact. It's good. Grab a friend, have a conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Good. No.
It's great. You
would bring up walking, wouldn't you? Thought we got walk the rink over here, but no.
Let's see. Travel. Traveling is great, even if it's just a weekend or just get out of your house, get together with friends.
Travel to the senior center.
Exactly. Travel to the senior center. You guys have many transportation options to get people there. So if anything, that's the easiest place to get to in Arlington. It really is. And make one phone call. And
that's right. You have lunch, you have exercise, you have social programs, you have movies. You name it.
Yes.
We do.
You guys have everything.
We have language classes, painting classes.
Singing,
dancing. That's true. That's true. That's why I like to come to work.
It is a great place to be, and just the atmosphere in there is so uplifting and positive, and everyone is so welcoming and friendly. It is really just a positive place to be, and I've witnessed that firsthand. So
I'm really glad. I'm glad you got to see that. It's really hard sometimes when you're there just one day a week, but for you, you've been able to come in on different days, so you've actually had a better glimpse of what goes on than some of the interns that come in.
Something different happening every day. So it's
Yep.
a great experience, great place to be.
Yeah. And did you have, while you were here, did you have a chance to talk to any seniors about?
I did.
Yep. And
I talked to a few seniors on a few different days.
Yeah.
And they just talked about how great a place the senior center was for them to go to get out of their house, and to give them kind of that sense of purpose, even as their health is declining. Just to see people, talk to people.
Yeah.
A lot of them just come and kind of hang out in the coffee nook and just greet everyone and talk to everyone, and it really is a welcoming place. And when you think senior center, you can think, I'm not a senior, I don't want to go there, but I don't think you should really call it a senior center.
I know.
To think of a fun name for it, because it really is a great place for people of all ages as they grow older, not just people in their 80s,
Right.
younger seniors per se, younger seniors.
Yeah, being 60 and older, but we do have intergenerational programs, so it's not unusual that we have the under 60 group, whether it's the preschoolers who want to sing and share maybe a card, but we also have high school students that come in. And right now we've got, through Bridges Together, it's an organization that focuses on intergenerational things. We're in the elementary schools and middle schools to have some interaction. So
that's a great opportunity for retired teachers, retired nurses, anyone that has any interest in working with younger kids. They keep you young.
Yeah.
The young kids keep you young.
That's true. Very good.
They do.
So what other kinds of things? Anything else as you're wrapping up your...
Just stay active, keep your mind active, pick up a new hobby. Stay close to your family, whether they live far or live close. Keep in touch. Keep in touch with them. That'll give you a nice foundation.
Yeah. And there are things like when your families are living outside of the area, there are things, and I just happen to have my iPhone here, so let me just silence this really quickly. But you can do FaceTime.
Yeah.
My father lives in California. You've heard me talk about my father. FaceTiming him is a little tricky because he always forgets which button to push. It's just that certain parts of his phone, but you can do that. You can call. There's nothing better than just hearing the human voice. We've even taught him how to text. So we get texts and pictures. So we get all kinds of things. But, it's just interesting. But, at the senior center, I bet we could set up a Skype. I hadn't really thought about that before, but the middle school had actually donated an iPad to us, and I bet we could set up Skype. But there's a computer room, so you can come in and set up an email account and stay connected that way.
And you have people there that assist with any kind of technology,
right? Whether exactly whether it's the high school students that come in or whether it's Frank through ASA that meets with folks in the afternoon. So, don't be isolated. Know that, as your adult children are getting older, and if you happen to have grandchildren, there's lots of ways to stay connected. I mean, we're in a time where families tend to be geographically scattered, so it may not be reasonable that you're all living within a driving distance. But certainly, don't let that be in your way. Don't let that be an obstacle. And I want to get back to the point of what you do professionally in your career, the kinds of things that you see. Not everybody has control over what happens.
Exactly.
Sometimes the acute occurrences like the heart attack and stroke, that course may be altered by a change in how you maintain your life, both physically, both socially. You can be as social as the day is long, and if you choose to do things that are counter to good health, that social interaction isn't going to save you from that heart attack or stroke. But it does bear in mind that the more you can be involved physically, socially, and just within the community, that lends itself to a healthier life, and that healthier life has a greater chance of delaying the need for long-term care, whether you receive that long-term care through insurance, because for many, long-term care insurance is a very expensive piece. So you're not you're not any less if you don't have the long-term care insurance, but you would still have that need. So Hannah, before we need to wrap up, is there anything else that you'd like to say about, I mean, I think you've hit a lot of points right on the head. This is not a paid announcement where Hannah said, I have to say all the nice things about the Senior Center, but it is true. I mean, it's an idea of how we always have to make sure that people see us as a social service, as a community-based social service, as a hub of not only information, like what you thought when you first came in, but it's also a hub of activity. And that activity is designed to be low cost. You don't have to show us your tax returns. If you got $1 million in the bank, great, I'm glad you have $1 million in the bank. You can still take advantage of the programs that we have at low cost. It's also designed, so it's designed for inclusivity. Whether you're our Chinese seniors that have the program in there, whether it's our LGBT seniors, that we have the once a month programs just for our LGBT seniors. It's a welcoming place for all at any one time. So I do want to say thank you very much for joining us this semester. It's been a real privilege having you. A little embarrassing that we didn't have one flyer that had it all. I mean, we have a transportation flyer, we have a this flyer, but this was great. And having the opportunity to be at the Civics Day. You were also at the Transportation Fair, so that netted, I think, 75 or 79 new Senior Charlie cards. So we want to keep you moving. As well as exposing folks to different pieces of the transportation. So I do want to say thank you. I wish that we could have had King on set the entire time. He's just a little lovable pup.
Very cute.
But without puppy diapers, we weren't really sure how that was going to work. But anyway, Hannah, we wish you the best. I understand you're graduating in May.
I am,
And you will forever remember what the community-based social service organization. So you can always direct seniors and their families to whatever community, because there is one in every community. Not as good as we are, but kidding. But anyway, I do thank you, and thank you for joining us. We've got some interesting lineup in the weeks to come. So stay tuned. But thanks for joining us. Have a great day.